Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Lokashankaram. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badharayanam Sutrabhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidwaram. Sadgurum Brahma Vidwaram. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Mavid Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham. Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham. Hari. Bhagavan Bhashyakara Shankaracharya has been answering the 7 questions that were raised by the student. Way back in verse 49, 7 questions were asked, and each one of them he is taking up one by one. He first talked about Anatma, and in short, Anatma was described as the entire world and also the Shariratrayam. And then the second topic was Atma, which is the pure consciousness. The third question that was addressed was about bondage. And that was answered in just 2 shlokas, 137 and 138. Taking this body, or really mistaking this body as myself, that kind of a self-error is bondage. Then the discussion as to how this bondage comes about. Katham esha agatah. That's what the student asked. How does this come about, this bondage? That discussion started in verse 139. And that's what we saw last class. And it was said, Samavrunotya tamomayi rahurivarkabimbam akandanityadvayabodhashaktya spurantamatmanamanantavaibhavam samavrunotya tamomayi rahurivarkabimbam. That there is this veiling power of avidya. Ignorance has this ability to cover, completely covers. Just like how during a solar eclipse, the brilliant sun is completely covered by Rahu. Then, Tiro bhute swatmani amalatarate jovati puman anatmanam mohat ahamiti shariram kalayati. Tatah kama krodha prabhrater biramam bandhana gunaihi param vikshepakya rajasa urushakti vyatayati. Due to the delusion caused by that darkness, that veiling is in play, and then the vikshepa comes into play. Person takes himself to be the body. After that, he projects the limitations of the body upon himself. And that is what causes bondage. This is what we have seen so far. Continuing the thought, again, a beautiful, very poetic description is given in the next verse. Let us read. Mahamohagraha grasana galitatma vagamanaha Mahamohagraha grasana galitatma vagamanaha Diyo nanavastam swayamabhinnayamestad gunataya Diyo nanavastam swayamabhinamestad gunataya apare samsare vishaya vishapure jalanidau apare samsare vishaya vishapure jalanidau nimajyonmayajyayam bhramati kumati kutsita gatihi nimajyonmayajyayam bhramati kumati kutsita gatihi mahamohagraha grasana galitatma vagamanah Diyo nanavastam swayamabhinayam stadgunataya apare samsare vishapure jalanidau nimajyonmadhyayam bhramati kumati kutsita gatihi. Here, Bhashyakara describes the biography of every samsari. He is describing each one of us. What is the lot of this samsari? What an unfortunate condition. He is in the middle of the greatest tragedy, and he does not know how to come out of it. And even if somebody wants to help, he says, I don't have time. Therefore, Shankaracharya says here, kumatihi. The word is in the fourth line, kumatihi. This unintelligent person, unintelligent, the man with a wretched intellect, unfortunate mind, indiscriminate intellect, such a person is called kumatihi. I'm not using stronger English word. We can use words like dumb, stupid. Those are Umati. Okay. Very diplomatically, we say an unintelligent person, man of poor discrimination. That just sounds a little bit more pleasant, but it means the same thing. This guy is just plain dumb. That's what it is. Mhm. So, if we use our intellect, we can very easily see this problem. Hmm? There is no problem with the external world. For one thing, we have tried a lot. We have changed so many things we have tried. Our problems still continue. There's nothing wrong. The other thing, you know, the world is what it is, and it is the same for everyone. Why is it that you have problem and the other fellow does not have any problem? That's because the problem is with you. So if we are intelligent, we will question ourselves, our approach, looking at the world and trying to change it. Okay, you are not smart enough. But the Shastras are telling you. It tells you very clearly, constantly changing the world, you are never going to become happy. Therefore, Shastra guidance is also there. You can even think it through. Hmm? Even with the Shastra and your own Viveka Shakti, if you are not able to diagnose the problem, what can I call you? So Bhagavan uses this strong word, kumatihi. What has happened to him? That is said in the first line. Maha moha graha grasana galita atma avagamanah. It's one long compound word. I have broken it just to understand. Otherwise, it's one word. Hmm? So, what is the meaning? Let us see. Now, Maha Moha Graha. Moha, Ajnanam, delusion, confusion, whatever you want to call Moha, delusion. So, Maha Moha means great ignorance, great delusion. And here Shankaracharya compares that ignorance with a huge crocodile, Graha. And what is this Graha? Grasana. It is just swallow. This huge crocodile of self-ignorance has swallowed. And therefore, Galita Atma Avagamanah. The self-knowledge is lost. So now this samsari is one whose self-knowledge is lost because the huge crocodile of self-ignorance has swallowed that self-knowledge. This is the final meaning of that one long compound word. And therefore he is kumatihi. Disturbed intellect, or wrong intellect. This is the job of the Avarana Shakti. The veiling power has done this, covered his discrimination completely. His intelligence, his intellect has been hijacked. Then what happens? Diyo nanavastam swayam abhinayan tat gunataya. Then once it is covered, he takes himself to himself the attributes of the sharira, the body. The attributes of the body, the nature of the body, it's dharma. This body is born, it grows, it decays, it dies. All that is the body. That's its nature. Now he has taken that and tells himself that he is born, he is growing, he will slowly decay and die. All the attributes of the mind. We're talking about body, physical body, as well as the mind, everything, the conditions of the mind. He takes it as his own condition, all that. So these are all the attributes. What are those attributes? Diya. Di means buddhi or the sukshma sharira. Nana avastha means various conditions of the mind. The mind is full of raga, dvesha, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. All those emotional states are there for the mind. And yes, all that is anatma. They are not the self. He superimposes on the atma upon himself. It's like watching a movie or a TV program and then identifying with the hero so much. When the hero lost his wife in the movie, tears rolled down from his eyes. And his wife is sitting right next to him. Why are you crying? I am here. If he had a little sense of humor and a little nasty humor, say, he would have said, that is why I'm crying. We will not go there. Huh? Anyway, he has taken up the emotions of the hero to be his, thrown all that upon himself. This happens tat gunataya, because of total identification with the buddhi and its conditions. Then what is the consequence? Apare samsare jalanidau nimajya. Nimajya, he drowns himself. Apare, the shoreless ocean. Jalanidau. He's drowning the shoreless ocean of samsara. The description is what? Vishaya Vishapure. Visha, it is filled with poison. A what? Vishaya, sense objects. Elsewhere we have seen this. All these objects. Vishaya is like Visha, only poison. Every sense object is a poison. We've also seen in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan says, Yehi samsparshaja bhoga hai dukkayonaya evate. Adyattavantak kaunteya nateshu ramate bhutah. Every pleasure, every bhoga is only dukkha yoni. It's a womb of sorrow. Adyantavantah. Hey kaunteya, they will come and go. The wise do not revel in it. All those sense pressures will invariably end up giving you sorrow only. So the wise people do not indulge in them. On the contrary, what does this samsari do? He gets nimajya, drowned in those sense pleasures. If he gets immersed, drowned, and dies, at least once and for all, the problem is over, at least in this birth. He does not die. Unmajyaya comes back grasping for breath. Again he goes down. Repeatedly drowning, coming up, catching some breath, to be drowned again. This is a sad story. Sorry state that this samsari is in. So I am this miserable, unfortunate, indiscriminate, unintelligent samsari. However many adjectives you want to add, you can. Hmm? Samsari, Brahmati, is wandering around. Kutsita Gatihi, going around, random manner, meandering through life. So many different births, countless births is already gone through. And it is not uniform evolution, as Darwin theory says. Not that you were once a unicellular organism and you grow and grow and grow. Now you become a man and then you will get moksha. It's not like that. On the other hand, from a human life, a person may gain, if he does not live properly, back to an animal or an insect. All that can happen. You're all familiar with that board game. In India also, I think it started in India. Snakes and ladders. Okay. You will go up to 99, and that 99 there is a snake. Zoom, it'll bring you all the way down. Like that only. Our samsara is going back and forth and back and forth. Up and down. Higher and lower janmas. And samsara it takes. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. Hmm? Shankaracharya describes in Bhaja Govinda. This samsara goes on. Now, another example is given in the next verse. Bhanuprabhasam janita brapanktihi. Bhanuprabhasam janita brapanktihi. Bhanim tirodhaya vijrumbate yata. Bhanam tirodhaya vijrumbate yata. Atmotitaham kritiratmatattvam. Atmoditaham krititatmatattvam. Tatatirodhaya vijrumbate swayam. Tatatirodhaya vijrumbate swayam. Bhanaprabhasam janita prapanktihi. Bhanam tirodhaya vijrumbate yata. Atmoditaham kritiratmatattvam. Tatatirodhaya vijrumbate swayam. So here in this example, Atma is compared to the sun, Surya. The sun is covered by the clouds. In the same way, Atma is covered by the error, which is called Ahankara. Here, Bhashyakara extends the example beautifully. That is, the cloud is generated by the power of the sun only. The sun alone evaporates the water, the oceanic waters, and the sun alone causes dryness of the land. And again, the dust also goes up. The dust which is caused by the sun and the water vapor which is caused by the sun get mixed together. And or we can say cloud is the child of the sun. And then you see the daring nature of that cloud. It's born out of the sun, and the very cloud covers the sun, overshadows the sun as it were. Cannot really do that, but it looks that way. So the idea here is Abra Panktihi Bhanu Prabha Samjanita. So Abra Panktihi means a patch of cloud. Abra means cloud, Panktihi means a patch. In this context, the patch of a cloud is Samjanitam, born out of. It's created by Bhanu Prabha. The radiation, the heat of the sun gives rise to the cloud. Clouds are born out of the heat of the sun. They enjoy their existence because of the sun only, thus borrowing their existence from the sun. the cloud. Bhanum tirodhaya. It covers, veils the sun. And day stands in front prominently. It looms large, takes all the importance, covering the sun. Similarly, Atma Udita Ahankriti. Ahankriti, Ahankara. That means the entire Anatma Sthula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, all of them, Atma Udita. They are born out of Atma. That means they depend upon Atma for their very existence. We've seen how they come from Maya, and of course, Maya has its ashraya in Brahman. So this ahankriti, ahankara, born out of the Atma, Atma Tattvam Tirodhaya Vijrumbate Swayam. That very ahankara covers the Atma Tattvam. The autobiography that I gave, not even a remotest reference to Aham Brahmasmi. If anybody asks you, who are you? Do you immediately say, I am Brahman? No. Not even by mistake we would write that I am Brahman in our autobiography. We give all the other details, the date of birth and so on and so forth. If it's an autobiography, the end game we have not indicated. If somebody has written your biography, that also is there. And all descriptions in between, date of birth and date of death, is all about anatma. Therefore, ahankriti, ahankara, which is atma udita, born from atma, that ahankara covers that atma, vijrumbate, and it just stands in front. Very prominently, ahankara stands as atma. It's become and atma has become insignificant, almost non-existent. Continuing, he says, Kavalita dinanate durdine sandramegai. Kavalita dinanate durdine sandramegai. Vyatayati himajamja vayurugroyataitan. Vyatayati himajamja vayurugroyataitan. Avirata tamasatmanyavrutte mooda buddhim. Avirata tamasatmanyavrutte mooda buddhim. Kshapayati bahudukkai tivra vikshepa shakti. Kshapayati bahudukkai tivra vikshepa shakti. Kavalita dinanate durdine sandramegai. Vyatayati himajamja vayurugroyataitan. Avirata tamasatmanyavrute mooda buddhim. Kshapayati bahudukkai tibra vikshepa shakti. He continues with the same example, extending the example further. And now he talks about the Vikshepa Shakti. On that dense cloud, rain-bearing clouds covering the sun. He says that dense rainy clouds covering the sun is like Avarana Shakti covering the Atma. Okay. Thereafter, what happens? When the day has become dark and cold, then there is Hima Jamjavayu, the snowstorm. Hima means snow. Jamjavayu means storm. And those of you in the cold climates, you have been through a couple episodes of that. So strong. And of course, Doesn't have to be so strong. It can be heavy monsoon rain. That will start here in India in a couple of months. You'll know. When it comes down, non-stop for hours together. The sun is gray, dark. Avarana Shakti, the veiling power, is functioning. Then the powerful wind comes. Then the precipitation starts. Get a storm. I tell you, those blizzard conditions cannot see anything. Shankaracharya says the covering of the sun is Avarana Shakti. The wind factor is the Vikshepa Shakti. All metaphors. Both of them join together and it feels like the entire sky is falling. He says, Durdine, on a bad day, a dark, gloomy day. Kavalita dinarte, dinanatha, the Lord of the day, means the sun, Surya. Kavalita is swallowed, means the sun is covered. Sandra Megaihi, dense cloud. Sun is covered by a very dense cloud. Once that happens, Himajamjavayu, the snowstorm, otherwise called a blizzard, is Ugraha, very powerful. Blizzard, very powerful, it follows. Then, Yetan Vyatayati, it torments, it afflicts, it does a number on you. So here, Sandra Megha, the dense dark cloud, refers to the Avarana Shakti. And Himajamjavayu, the snowstorm, refers to the Vikshepa Shakti. So the second one comes because of the first one. Even during the monsoon, before a powerful stormy weather comes, whole place becomes dark. The Avarana Shakti comes into play first. And thereafter, the Vikshepa Shakti. It comes. And when it comes, I tell you, again, the hurricane season in the US will start June 1st. And when you're in Florida, Texas, and the southern states, hurricane belt, you all have experienced that. Be it the Northeast and the Midwest, which experience snowstorms, or the heavy hurricanes, or in India, the monsoon time also. Sometimes cyclones, all that is there. So first, the covering is there. The day becomes so dark sometimes. And then starts pouring. When the rain, it's not coming straight, it's so slanting. Because of the wind, so strong. Similarly, Atmani Avrite. The Atma is covered. Avrita Tamasa. Tamas, darkness. Here it means darkness of ignorance, Ajnana. So this ignorance is Avirata. The example given was Sandra Megha. Sandra means dense, thick clouds. Avirata means dense. So literally, Avirata means without any gap. Virata, without any gap in between. So dense, thick. So Avirata Tamasa Atmani Avrite. Pitch dark, we say, right? So dark. So Atma is covered by this dense ignorance. That ignorance is so strong. Any glimpse of intelligence anywhere in between that ignorance. Then Tibraha Vikshepa Shakti Kshapayati. Powerful Vikshepa force pours. Just like when the rain comes down, it just pours. The force of Vikshepa shows up in the form of Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. Kama, desire. Krodha, anger. Lobha, greed. Lobha, mother, pride, Matsarya, jealousy. All those negative. That is a stormy mind. When you are in the grip of such negative emotions, mind is so agitated, disturbed. A tempest in your head. The agitated mind expresses itself through words. Verbally, expression is there. And then physical expression is also there. It affects you physically, and then you lash out, become violent, all this. We've seen this. The description of Arjuna in the first chapter. Arjuna Vishada Yoga. What all emotions he went through. He could not, such a great warrior, he could not even stand. Of course, mind is discrimination totally lost. So Arjuna had that internal storm. And he himself said, Sidanti mamagatrani mukham cha parishusyati vepatuscha sharire me romaharshasya jayate. I cannot stand. My face is just burning up. Cannot even hold the bow. All this is the expression of Vikshepa Shakti. Very turbulent. That projecting power, so turbulent. So this powerful Vikshepa Shakti, Kshapayati, torments, afflicts that person. It's a torture when you go through that kind of emotion. Moodha buddhi, foolish intellect. Shankaracharya is very fond of this word, mood. Whenever he can, he will use moodha buddhi, foolish intellect. The unintelligent person who has not insulated himself, he has sinned. He does not have this protection of knowledge that God is not there. So ignorance has taken over. You have to protect yourself. Even the coldest weather, harshest weather will be harmless if you are prepared. You wear the layers of clothing. The worst weather will not affect you. You all have dressed up your kids and sent them off to school. Sometimes when you go to parties also, you wrap those children, and when you come back and then unwrap them inside the house, oh, this is not my child. They all look alike, all those jackets. They are covered from head to foot. You don't know. Anyway, you can protect yourself at least. Then you start making phone calls and get your baby back. Anyway, A foolish, unintelligent person needs the insulation of jnana, knowledge. In the foolish, unintelligent person, viveka, discrimination, protection is not there. Shankaracharya calls him Moodha Buddhi. So the Tivra Vikshepa Shakti torments the intelligent person. How does it torment him, torture him? Bahudukkaihi. Many, numerous dukkha, problems, suffering, sorrow, worries. It may be caused by adhyatmika dukkha, worries about oneself. Adi bhautika, from the surroundings, or adidaivika, phenomenal forces, all are problems. So many sources of problems are there. And then he just suffers. Continuing. एताभ्यामेव शक्तिभ्यां बन्धपुंसः समागतः याभ्यां विमोहितो देहं मत्पात्मानं भ्रमत्ययम् मत्वात्मानं भ्रमत्ययम् एताभ्यामेव शक्तिभ्यां बन्धः पुंसः समागतः याभ्यां विमोहितो देहं मत्वात्मानं भ्रमत्ययम्. So in this verse, Bhashyakara concludes the topic. Concludes the topic of Bandha Hetu, the cause for samsara, for bondage. It says, the Avarana Shakti and the Vikshepa Shakti of Ajnana join together and they cause this bondage. Normally we say ignorance only is the cause of bondage, but he goes a step further, a little bit deeper. Ignorance has two powers, the veiling and projecting power. And these two powers together cause bondage. One power covers and the other power projects. Etabhyam eva shaktibhyam bandhaha pumsaha samagataha. Because of these twofold powers, the bondage has come about. We should remember when we say the bondage has come about, we are not referring to any instant of time. It's not that in the beginning we were all Brahman, all knowledge, and one day ignorance struck us. The strike was on, it's just struck us, and the ignorance had the Avana Shakti, the veiling, and followed by Vikshepa Shakti, and we were in bondage. No. We never talk about the beginning of ignorance. That's why we say Ajnana is Anadi. Therefore, remember this, Ajnana Avarana Vikshepa, during Pralaya Kala, Avarana Shakti alone is there. Before creation, when everything is in a potential state, all jivas are there with their ignorance and everything. At that time, only the Avarana Shakti is there. Vikshepa Shakti is dormant. And then, Srishti Kale, at the time of creation, that Vikshepa Shakti becomes active. That Vikshepa Shakti is necessary for creation. Creation ends when Vikshepa Shakti wanes and goes dormant again. When that happens, the Avarana Shakti is not removed. That Avarana, that veiling, that ignorance, you have to work. For that Jiva, when he gets the Jnana, that will be removed. Otherwise, for the rest of the population, it will continue. Rest of creation, that ignorance will continue. And so the cycle also continues. If you have any doubts, a simple example is your sleep. Your sleep and waking state, that's a very individual example of what happens in totality. During sleep, the Avarana Shakti alone is there. Vikshepa Shakti is not there. You are not experiencing the variety of this world. All that is folded. Only Avarana Shakti. Boom. Everything comes. Self-ignorance is there and self-error are both there. The self-error is, I am so-and-so. When you say I am and add anything other than Brahman, that is the error. I'm a woman, I'm a man, I'm a husband, I'm unhappy, I'm educated, I'm dull, I'm rich, I'm poor. Anything you add after I am, that is self-error. That's not you. During sleep, self-ignorance is there, but the self-error, it's not there. Waking and dream states, both ignorance and error are there. So just as sleep and waking in the form of a cycle goes on day after day, similarly at the cosmic level, at the total level also, pralaya and then creation. During pralaya, avarana shakti alone is there. During srishti, both avarana and vikshepa are active. And this cycle goes on. When did all this begin? Again, you cannot talk about it because time itself falls within that error. It is before time. There is no time at that. So, when did this time come? There is no answer to that question. That's why we use the word Maya, inexplicable, anirvachaniyam. That which cannot be answered, that cannot be explained, that inexplicability is Maya. Like that, when I talk about Avarana and Vikshepa, again, do not think of it as a chronological order with a beginning. No. It's a cyclic process. Vikshepa manifests, when unmanifests, Avarana Shakti eternally continues until we gain Atma Jnana. So in the second line, the first line, the word pumsaha means the human being, the jiva. The bondage has come to the jiva. Yabhyam vimohitaha, because of these two factors of ignorance alone. Then I am vimohitaha, this jiva is deluded. Delusion expresses itself. Atmanam deham matva. He takes himself to be the body, considered body to be himself. Having come to that conclusion, aging, decaying body considers. Having come to that conclusion, Brahmati, he wanders around in this world without knowing this fundamental error is the cause of the problems. I am. This jiva brahmayati roams about through countless births. That is what is called samsara. He is a samsara. He is wandering the wilderness of samsara, drowning in the ocean of samsara, shivering in the cold of samsara, scorched in the desert of samsara. Whatever expression you want to use, he is bound. Therefore, with this verse, how did this bondage come? That question has been answered. More of it we will see in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasheshyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.